welcome back to another episode of the CEO Pulse podcast, where you get the real, the raw, and the mind of entrepreneurship. We are here, another episode of Mindset Mondays with my co-host, Justin Thorstad.
Thank you.
I don't know. That just kind of, yeah.
It works.
It happened.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the kind of information that you're putting in your head on a regular basis. Who is your coach, right? And not from a salesy standpoint, but what kind of results are you considering throughout your entrepreneur career as you go through this process? I think it's very important, man. I know I listened to a lot of bad advice as I was getting started in my early 20s.
Yeah.
I listened to some people who had really, really good intentions, but no results, no track record. Dude, I was taking that stuff to the bank. I mean, I was, when you don't know what you don't know, like anything sounds valid, right?
Yeah. Well, and I love what you said about, people with good intentions. But if you think about it, some of the most gross atrocities of humanity came from people with good intentions. If you look at Hitler, he thought he was doing the world a favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He thought it was good intentions.
Wow, that got deep real quick.
Right? Yeah. So, but I love this topic, and it's so fundamental and vital, critical to success in all areas of life, of like, where are you getting your information from?
Yeah.
And so, as coaches, right, we have students and so forth.
And we have coaches.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have coaches too. Like the coach has to be coached, right?
Yeah.
Because, and it's like, who's pointing out your blind spots?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and we had the same coach for a little while, Coach Al. And the funny thing is, of all the coaches I've had, none of them were in the field I was in.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think, okay, well, and I see this shit on social media all the time too. Like, get a coach that does what you do because only they understand. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe the pragmatic approach. Yeah. However, a lot of my private coaching clients aren't even in real estate. Yeah. And I can still coach them in a very short amount of time, 200, 300, 400% to increase their income.
Yeah.
And I don't know shit about their industry because it has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, to think that you need a coach that does what you do is also in alignment with the false construct of like the strategy is what wins. And the strategy is never what wins, because if the strategy were the key to your success, whoever else is in your same industry, you'd all be doing the same fucking strategy. Yeah. There's nothing to do with that. There's infinite ways for you to approach that which you do. There's infinite ways to market, to advertise, to be like doing a thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you can make one little adjustment. That's a variation, right? So Al, he never started a real estate brokerage.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
Because of his coaching.
Amazing, phenomenal results.
Oh my God.
It's and you make a really, really valid point. One of the things for the process, the pragmatic side of things, it's usually what brings people into coaching. Okay, I want to know the instructional part, and that's it's great, it's fine and dandy, but a lot of it is going to be having that different perspective, that other that alternating conversation, that sense of accountability that you have to bring to the table now because you have skin in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that works phenomenally when you're talking to somebody that's outside of your industry, right, or somebody that's focusing. Beyond the step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah, because I just think, like, for myself, and in all the businesses that I've started, if I really think about it, the how-to was the easy part. The challenge was the X factor.
Yeah.
The parts of your mind where you get excited, but then that part comes in and is like, wait a minute, who the hell do you think you are? Yeah. What makes you think you can succeed? Like, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, that self-image kicks into play. So, like, the most profound coaches that I have now and have had in the past were coaches that were more based around the mindset. Yeah. More like that it was a study of me, becoming to know myself and my personality, and where does it support me in moving forward and creating beautiful results, and where does it hold me back, and where do I avoid and deflect and not want to be accountable and hide out and be safe and comfortable and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many different kinds of coaches out there now, especially now. Life coach, you hear a lot. It's like, I'm not even sure what the fuck that means. However, you know what I mean? But there's lots of different coaches. You can get a coach for sales, for finance, for all kinds of things. Like myself, in the regards of coaching, I identify as a transformational coach. It's really diving into your self-imposed limitations, reframing your relationship to with self and those belief systems to release them, let it go, so that you're liberated, free, and only then can you go create liberty in external reality. Like as within, so without. It could be no other way, right? So what kind of coach are you taking advice from? What kind of coach do you have that's pointing out your mental blocks, blind spots, and helping you see those things so you can acknowledge it, recognize it, and transcend it?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, man. It's like I see myself, and I don't post it this way, but really, if you break it down, I'm a performance coach. The nuts and bolts of everything can be, and it's actually part of like the way that I structure the coaching program, right? And like the nuts and bolts are in videos. Like it's a very tried and tested process. You have,
proven model,
right? And it's a blueprint. It's all in there. Most of the conversations though, during coaching calls, the real conversations when we come in and then, we'll do, comps and the, some of the nuts and bolts stuff. But that's usually, maybe 20% of the call. The rest of it is really having conversations on that self-awareness side of things. What's the mindset like? Okay, how can I, level up? How can I think bigger? How can I give myself the value that I give myself because I'm, doing all this work? How can I trust myself as I'm going through this process, right? So it's a lot of that, right? And again, it's incredible when you have the ability to come in and then create one simple shift in somebody's attitude, somebody's perspective, and that ripple effects into increase in the bottom line, more revenue, right? More,
100%.
Just improvements altogether, and that has a ripple effect on family, on relationships, on vision. Man, it's crazy. Like some of the people that have gone through the coaching and they started without knowing anything, and now they're doing like really advanced type of real estate deals, but the mindset got worked on a lot. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like they put in the work.
If you want to adjust something in your external reality, your personal reality, it can only happen by adjusting the inside, right?
Yeah.
Because as you start reframing your belief systems and who you think you are, like that's going to drive different behavior, and it's going to produce different results. So
it's the same thing, man. It's like going to the gym for the first time and you see all these machines. You don't know what the fuck they do. But if you go to the gym for the first time, you have a physical trainer. Like it's your learning curve is going to be a lot shorter.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think and we're going to do a video on this, but the world's greatest success formula that I'm such a huge advocate of and proponent of is be, do, have, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, want to talk about the do. What's the strategy, right? And again, I just break it down and just show people to prove a point that it's not the strategy, it's what version of you is showing up to the do.
Yeah.
Like what's your state, how you're thinking, how you're feeling. And what drives your state is those belief systems, that self-image. And so having a coach that can make shifts, support you to make shifts there, unlocks your potential. Like it's really what it's all about, in my opinion. And yes, if it's something technical, you're overweight and you want a health coach, not only for moving your body, but diet, do that. Like I'm not saying that's wrong or bad. However.
Yeah, but for example, you're not going to get a coach who's got bad or unhealthy eating habits, right?
Yeah, well, you're not going to hire a coach that weighs 250 pounds, but they're 5'6".
You know what I mean? I had a friend of mine recently called me who's like, "Do you know anybody who's, who might be able to train me? I want to get go to the gym and whatnot." But like, I know of this one guy, but I mean, he doesn't look the part. Like that was the comment, right? Like meaning the effort and the image of what he wanted to become wasn't there by the coach. I mean, which is very, very clever. Then I sent him to this beast of a coach that I have, dude. It's insane. Rod, shout out. So he's crushing it there. But it's you have to personify whatever area you're working on, right? Like one of my super secret evil strategies when it comes to coaching is it's luring people in with the nuts and bolts. Right?
What they think they need.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, like it's you're still gonna deliver that, right?
Of course.
Like that's the thing.
It's a given.
But really, the changes happen at a more personal and intimate level.
Well, case in point, let's use your fitness coach as an example, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I'm grossly overweight. I want to get in shape. I want to look more sexy. I want to have more energy. Right?
More sexy.
Okay. Yeah, more sexier.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so you get a nutrition coach, a health coach, and go to the gym, bust your ass, really long workouts, super consistent, and you're changing your diet. But all along, the belief is I'm overweight, and all of this doingness that my coach is giving me is just strategy, and therefore it's forced obedience. So the behavior of moving my body, it doesn't exist in my awareness. It's working out. It's hard. It's a grind. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm only doing it to get something, right? Well, what happens then when you stop with the coach?
Yeah.
What happens then when you hit that target weight? Obviously, if you've ever been on a diet before, most people know the weight comes back, usually brings its friends with them. Because when you stop that forced obedience, the self-image is going to kick in and bring you back on track to what your mind is set to.
Yeah.
Right? So a great health coach then...
Until that habit is built and actually established.
Well, and
right?
it's about reframing the lens in which you're viewing yourself and why you're doing what you're doing. So a great coach not only will bring in the strategy, obviously, but they're going to bring in the awareness of what had you producing the results you say you don't like in the first place.
And they'll like, I love the fact that they catch a lot of the stuff that we miss. Like this one, and case in point, dude. I mean, I'm there. I'm during the middle of a workout session. They're intense, dude. And I mean, this guy's built like a fucking boulder, right? Competes and everything. And then I'm pushing there. I'm like, I can't remember. I think it was a press machine or something that I was working on. And I kept doing this and then looking down. Just that little angle, right? I was looking down. I wasn't supposed to be looking down. And that little angle was messing up the form.
Sure.
And he catches it. I'm not catching. I could have gone for another hour there and not get the emphasis of the result, right? The focus of that little extra thing in there, adjustment. And one thing that he would catch it, and then the thing that he kept saying is like, "Why are you looking down? There's nothing there for you. There's nothing down there for you, bro. Like look forward, look in front of you, look at the physique that you're trying to build." And he was like hyping me up, like he does that on all the sessions, and it becomes this like almost like this mind fuck addiction, right? Like, yeah, I have that. I have the clarity of that. Like what happens when you want to quit? Trust me, you have another 5 reps in you. Like when you have that type of motivation behind it, right? That type of clarity of where you're headed, and then that support, that accountability.
That's a great coach.
Exactly.
That awareness.
So the pragmatic stuff, but also the humanness, the human side of things. Understanding that part of it, I think, I mean, it's huge. With Al, I mean, what we did for years, and every now and then I'll still go back to, sessions and just kind of, touch base, even if I don't feel like I'm messed up in the head or anything. Yeah. Now just for shits and giggles, right? Like it's a good tune-up call.
Yeah, check in.
Check in. And it was all focusing on the mindset, on the, the space that I'm holding within my, my thoughts. And how is that, translating to my outside world, right? It's incredible, like the shifts that were happening.
At a fast pace.
Yeah, at a fast pace.
Well, and here's the thing, why this is so important for entrepreneurs watching.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that 90% of the bottlenecks in your business are there because they exist in your psychology.
Yeah.
They're just being outpictured. And you think a strategy is going to come in and solve that?
Yeah.
Like, not yet, because you're not even able to see what the true bottleneck is.
Strategy and systems and all, you can have the best, most decked out blueprint and model and all the bells and whistles and everything, but it's not going to fix procrastination. It's not going to fix avoidance,
deflection,
self-doubt. Like no, that's stuff that we have
to have difficult conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that. The
confidence, dude. I mean, it's huge. Yeah. So all of that stuff I think plays into it. I get a lot of information from. So I have coaches, and then I have books and podcasts and a lot of things that I consume, right? But you get to this space where you're critically evaluating both sides of the conversation. For example, now what I do, if I come across a topic that I think is very interesting, I like to read opposite perspectives. For example, there's this one book, Seven Habits?
Highly Effective People?
Yeah, I think
Stephen Covey?
Yeah, is it the one where he files all kinds of stuff and or is that, I think I'm mixing up the titles, but no, there's a book. And anyways, it's fuck, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this. But it's anyways, he goes through this very elaborate way of filing all your to-dos and your tasks and everything. And I mean, and if you're a highly analytical person, it's gonna make a lot of sense, right?
I'm out.
I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I would probably use maybe 30% of it. But when you see the performance of it, the accountability, like it's there, right? So I'll read something like that, which is very dense in the analytical side of things, and then I'll read something like essentialism, where you're focusing on this one little thing that's super simple that it's almost stupid to not do it, right? And you have completely opposite perspectives. Like what that forces us to do is to come to our own deductions, right?
That's brilliant.
If you don't have that, that's how you stimulate critical thought.
Well, in case in point,
Yeah.
how do you know where the sweet spot is? Kind of a flow state, if you will.
Yeah.
If you don't know the extreme boundaries, like only then can you tell where that sweet spot is. If you're too far this way, like you think that's it. So to have, besides, it's the law of duality. You know, it's the polarity of things, and it's just a knowingness that for every in there's an out, up, a down. You know, shirts and bottoms, and hot and cold, and light and dark.
Yeah.
Like you've got to understand those 2 points of reference.
Yeah.
By an experience, so that you can come to your own conclusion of where is that sweet spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, then you create your own opinion, right? But there has to be a point of reference.
Constantly reading and listening to things. That's why you're never available to like hang out or anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
unless you have whiskey or tequila.
I do.
Actually, tequila. Yeah, glass azul. Thank you, dude. Side note, I think the cat's out of the bag. Over the last week, I've gotten like 3 different bottles of tequila.
Yeah.
From friends. Yeah, I don't know where your bottle is, but I've had friends. Wow,
that's good stuff.
Yeah. So
really
but anyways, people keep bringing me tequila. Anyways, I love it. Yeah, thank you.
I got a nice bottle of Johnny Walker Blue the other day.
Yeah, but it's important, right, to understand again where you're getting your information from, and have a sense of critical thinking behind it. Have the awareness of, okay, this is what I'm learning. This is what this person is going through right now. Is that in alignment with the person that I'm becoming? Is that in alignment with the space or the purpose that I want to fulfill in the future? Right?
Yeah. Well, and let me kind of just throw a wrench in this too. Like, there's something else to be said though about like not taking everything your coach says as gospel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as almost a contradiction, yet it's not. Borrow your coach's belief.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I went to coach with Bob Proctor for a little while, many years ago before he passed, and he was talking about gratitude and da-da-da-da. And so I started the practice, and I'm like, this is dumb. What the fuck does this got to do with anything? And finally, I just had to surrender. The wind. Yeah. I just had to accept it and be like, okay, wait a minute, Justin. This dude's making $100 million a year, and you're not.
You're not.
So maybe just borrow the belief, right?
Yeah.
Yet
I love that, man. Borrow the belief.
Yeah. And if you just borrow the belief, then you drop all resistance to the process or what you're being instructed to do. So you surrender to it. Not surrender as in give up or defeat, but surrender as in just acceptance. So you drop all that resistance. You can be fully present with that teaching to try it on, to entertain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ladies, like a pair of shoes. You got to put them on and walk in them, right? Gentlemen, it's like a nice suit jacket. You got to put it on, see how it fits.
Yeah.
And how do you do that if you're in resistance? I don't like the color of the jacket. You're not going to put it on.
Yeah.
Right? So you just got to borrow the belief so that you can have an experience of that teaching, and then you have more information to see if it fits or not.
Yeah.
Right? Because not everything your coach gives you will fit. And I'll tell you a dirty little secret. What did you call it? An evil? The last episode you said something.
I don't know.
I thought it was
villain or
no. About your secret. About the pragmatic approach that
the secret to my evil plan.
Yeah, he said it differently.
Like that,
but anyways, like here's what I noticed as a coach.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if I notice the various people that I'm coaching, whether it's a branch, private client, and I start noticing a theme of like what I'm talking about, very quickly, that's an awareness for myself of who am I talking to?
Yeah.
Talking to me. Yet it still fits. It's still appropriate, right? But the thing about a great coach is they understand that their student, their client, is just a mirror.
Yeah. We got to hold that space. We have to hold that space. in order for us to have any good results with anybody. And you can see the testimonials, right? But we have to hold that space. We have to stand in that truth and personify it again.
Oh, sure.
It's
well,
like,
and does the coach have results that are in alignment with their teachings?
Yeah, exactly.
That's something you could definitely take a look at.
Yeah, and if that's in play, I guarantee you, it's not just about the pragmatic stuff. It's not just about the nuts and bolts of how to do the business, how to prepare a listing, how to go fill out a Binzer. That plays a significant role in the craft, right? Because of the industry. Yeah. But the business, the X factor is always going to be you. It's always going to be, who are you resonating with, or who's resonating with you, more importantly, right? When it comes to that type of stuff. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. But to not have a coach, to me, is just ridiculous.
No,
To think that you've arrived and you're good, and because the results are wonderful, great, don't worry. You're actually in a state of decay. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, actually, Anthony, and my comment was, I feel like I got lucky at the beginning because I fell into this business when I jumped into real estate wholesaling. I was in the process of selling my other business, and I wanted to learn, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go work for somebody who's at the tip of the sword, and I ended up working for Sean Terry, who's one of the top coaches in my space, right? So I learned a lot. That really was a blessing, and it's really, the crazy thing is, bro, like, to me, paying for coaching was always one of those things, like, it's an unnecessary expense. It's stupid. Why am I gonna? Yeah, it's totally for me, it's totally a cultural thing. It's like we're just not used to asking for help.
What to do?
Dude, being told what to do, asking for help, and me in that realm, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll be fucking drowning, and like
before you ask for help.
Yeah, before I ask for help, I'll try to pass. I'm gonna pass out and see how long it takes me, and then somebody has to jump in and
revive you.
Yeah, revive me, and then even then, anyways. But it used to be a lot worse.
Oh, this is an improvement?
Yeah, this is improvement. But it's so I had that notion. No, and I've gotten a lot, through growth, right? And through understanding and different perspectives. It's like, you can't get places. It's really who, not how. Who can you reach out to? Who can you tap into that already done it's already walked the path, right? Why? Yeah, exactly. Why figure it out? So, I'm telling you, that one experience cut at least 10 years of the learning curve for me,
sure.
in terms of exposure, in terms of perspective. Like, shit, dude, my mind was blown when I started looking at, behind the scenes of what was happening, right, within these deals and big deals and a lot of that stuff. But it really shifted my perspective when it came to paying for coaching, paying for really what's happening is you're paying to get to the front of the line of whatever your line in.
And
whatever line you're in.
And I'll say, whatever your coach charges, or a coach rather, is not indicative of value.
No.
Like Al. Oh, that dude, man. Yeah. I often think about, if I didn't coach with him, I know I would not be where I'm at yet.
Yeah.
Like the amount of
100%.
Years he shaved off, right?
100%.
And I coached with him 2 years, every 2 weeks for 2 years, solid. Mm. And by the way,
yeah, you're pretty messed up.
Oh yeah, still am. No. But and I never told him this. I hope he's not watching. But I don't understand. Yeah, I don't like. I would have paid literally 10 times what he charged.
Yeah,
10 times.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have even batted an eye.
Yeah,
and so. Just because they're charging a lot of money doesn't mean they're a great coach.
I'm not gonna tag him because then he's gonna charge us 10.
Yeah, right. Don't do that.
Yeah. Doesn't mean we're not smart.
Yeah, I don't know how I came across. It was a spam email or something about this guy that's he coaches large, high producing realtors and teams and even CEOs. And he had 2 little work ebooks download, and they were 37 pages. I was like, cool, I'm gonna check it out. I downloaded them yesterday, Sunday. I read through both of them. Complete dog shit. That content was so surface.
Yeah.
Doing this grind. And I was like, there was no value in that whatsoever. And I wish I could get the time back from reading those 74 pages. Complete waste. And this guy charges a shit ton of money. And I'm like, man. And then the cheapest coach I've ever had was the most profound.
The most profound, most impactful.
So
Yeah.
price means nothing.
You know, it's funny you bring that up. Like right now we're going through, Thanksgiving sales and
Black
and
Friday. Everything's on sale.
Cyber Monday, your soul is on sale and all kinds of stuff. I've been contemplating this, and then I asked myself the question, okay, what kind of audience do I want to serve, right? And then you start dialing in your avatar, like the person that you're really looking to impact. So I moved around the pricing a bit on my stuff, but it's 1,000% true. It's like the sales, the price is not indicative of the quality of the coaching that you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some $50,000 programs. I paid for a shit ton of a high core, quote unquote, coaching, and then I walk away with like, all right, cool. I mean, I got maybe two, three things out of that. But and then I've had stuff where I pay a lot less, and the value is there, right?
Profound.
So yeah, exactly. Well, so it's important to understand again, like what resonates with you, and do some research on the people that you're reaching out to.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing is this, I'll say just some points to remember in with coaching is I always say, give it 90 days. You got to commit to at least 90 days to really start to get into that coach's philosophy, viewpoint, direction, all of that. So to think you're going to do a session or two and figure it out, like, no, 90 days. The other thing is this. If you are not outgrowing your coach, meaning like they're just out of content for you in 2 to 3 years, a couple things there. Either you're a shitty student, they're a shitty coach, or both. Like, you should be outgrowing your coach.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Like your coach should want you to outgrow them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's it. Think of it. When I have a student and within a year they're off to the moon.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I'm good. I think I'm going to go. I'm like, love it. Yay. Thank you. It's such a compliment.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, they're moving on to a different, level, right?
Absolutely.
In whatever level you're at. Like it's people evolve, and we're a pathway or just to that evolution. Like we're a tool, right?
Yep.
When the time comes.
So commit to 90 days. And you should be outgrowing in 2 to 3 years.
It takes 67 days to actually start, solidifying a habit psychologically.
I'm just and that.
No, I agree completely with the 90 days. You have to give it enough time.
Yeah, I believe that that the habit thing comes down to your level of desire and therefore commitment to changing your belief systems around that thing and your self-image of how you view yourself with the success of it. And that's going to determine to a large extent how fast or how long it's going to take for you to naturally change something.
Based on repetition, though, like it's it really like it's a stat, but
statistic.
Stat, exactly. So it takes around 67 days on average, like give or take. Right? Okay. So I mean, you still have a range, all right? Just to encourage you a little more,
well, I believe
range between 40 and 90, right? Got it.
Yeah,
but anyways,
I'm just saying like that 21 days to build a habit is like bullshit.
No, it takes more than that. Yeah. It takes more than 21 days. It's repetition, right? It's rewiring your neurons to
rewiring the same pattern
to operate in a different way.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing when we're going through the process of learning something, right? When we have to be open, we have to give it time to work. And dude, I mean, I've had it. I've had it where people want instant gratification for stuff that takes a while. Like it's you have to be realistic, right?
Yeah, like that is the shortcut. Yeah. To be open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone wants a shortcut. There it is. Surrender, accept, borrow the belief, get all in.
Yeah.
Try it on, see if it fits.
Try it on. Do the work. Do the fucking work.
Yeah. Put in the effort.
Yeah, put in the effort. All right.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the work word. But
such a dirty word. Work. Who the fuck wants to work? But I'll put in a shit ton of effort. Yeah. Because the desire is there.
Take the actions. I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So
the doingness.
Yeah. So again, ask yourself, what kind of advice are you consuming, right? Who are you following on social media? What type of advice resonates with you? Make a note of it. Make a mental note of that stuff when like, oh, wow, like that raises a flag. When you have something like that, what kind of topic is it? Ask yourself, is it valid where it's coming from? And before you actually take it to heart, before you jump into anything in terms of coaching, do some research. I mean, but it's silly, man, at this point in time to not cut to the front of the line. Given all the resources and everything that's out there, man.
Yeah, we're in the information age. So to not know a thing is ignorant, to ignore truth, and it's a choice.
Yeah, I think, well, the information, everything's readily available, right?
Totally.
I think now one of the big important things too is to consider, like, okay, who am I going to be in business with? Because that's essentially what happens. So yeah. All right. Beautiful. Justin, where can somebody get a hold of you?
Yeah, my website, justinthorstad.com, or my cell phone, 602-348-8534.
Fire! All right. And I'm going to ask you guys to subscribe, like, and share if you like the content that we're putting out there for you guys. It's our pleasure to do it. Help us make the impact that we want to make out there in the world, right? If you want to follow me, I'm at Rafael Cortez CEO. You know what? Not if you want to follow me, just follow me. Click on it. Subscribe, like, and share. And you can find me on social media at Rafael Cortez CEO on Facebook as well. And we have information on there about our coaching programs as well. So with that being said, stay focused. You got this. Bam!